Hey, what's going on? It's getting kind of late, getting kind of tired. Anyways, congressional elections, I promise this one will be 10 minutes and 10 minutes only, which is likely to mean it's going to be more than 10 minutes. But, anyways, congressional elections. So, when we talk about elections, there are different elections that, other than presidential elections. You have members of Congress. What you'll find in congressional elections is the most likely indicator of success, which candidate will win, is incumbency. If a candidate is running for an office that he or she already holds, it is very, very likely that they're going to win. Uh, and it's at a rate that is so high that it's almost impossible for a challenger to win. Members of the House win at about 90%, and members of the Senate 80%. So when they run for reelection, they're going to win unless they've done something really bad, or if you have a change in the political atmosphere. That sounded really lame. But if you have a change in the political landscape, sounds kind of lame, you may have someone who is a strong challenger. As you know, the House every 2 years is up for reelection. They're constantly in reelection mode. The Senate, a little more leeway. You have 6 years. We've already gone over the different types of elections, so we're not going to go over them again. But again, as I said, the greatest factor is incumbency. If you are already in office, think of incumbency in office, it's very, very likely that you are going to win again. So 90% of congressmen, we call House members usually members of Congress, and 80% of senators win re-election. Oftentimes, you don't have a very competitive opponent. Often, we think of Congress as remaining the same, whereas presidents are limited to 2 terms of 4 years. Congressmen can be in office for 20, 30, 40 years, and that's because of the advantages that they have as an incumbent. One of the biggest advantages they have is money. If we look at the state of Illinois, Dick Durbin is one of our senators, and he ran for reelection in 2014. If you look at the amount of money that he had as opposed to his opponent, James Oberweis, yes, Oberweis may refer to Oberweis, Germany, or Oberweis Dairy. James Oberweis, or Jim Oberweis, actually is the owner of Oberweis Dairy. And he's run it several times, and he had significantly less money, even though he's a millionaire. When we click on this race, you can see the amount of money they raised, they spent. When you can spend 12 million as opposed to 2 million, you have a significant advantage, and most of that is via ads on TV or mailings. We can get into outside groups. Super PACs do play a role, not as big a role in congressional races, but they do play a role in races. Again, our poor minor parties. Poor Sharon Hansen had $2,000 to go up against $10 million. Again, money limits libertarians because, as we know, political action committees do not give candidates who aren't going to win money. And if we look at, let's see if we can find this quick. Oh, here we go. No, this is not what I want to see. Oh, here we go. This is what I want to see. What you'll find is PACs play a much greater role in congressional elections. Obviously, PACs want to influence public policy or laws. Lawmakers or members of Congress make laws, so they are much more influential in those races. And if you look at the presidential race, presidential candidates don't take money from PACs. PACs give money to congressional candidates who are winners. They support winners. And you see that 25% of Dick Durbin's money is from political action committee contributions. That's a big chunk of his money that he's spending. So he has a significant, that's why he's smiling. He has a significant advantage over his opponent. Now, James Oberweis, I can't click on him, so I don't know why I can't click on him. If you look at Bobby Rush, ex-member of the Black Panthers, he is a member of the South Side of Chicago, or a congressman from the South Side of Chicago, which is extremely Democratic. His opponent had $0. Sorry, Jimmy Lee, you're not going to win. But you see the incumbent, which has an asterisk next to it, you see these races, they have significantly more money. And you do get some districts that are close. I will go to, oh, there's Aaron Schock. He's no longer in, but which race do I want to look at? We'll look at this one. Brad Schneider, who's a Democrat who was an incumbent, had a very, very tough race against Bob Dole, and he actually lost. So Dole was able to beat him. That was it's a congressional district that's almost 50-50 in the number of voters who are Republican and Democrat. So there are districts that tend to be very, very close, and you may have a change. But typically speaking, if you look, all the candidates with asterisks have little awards next to their name. And your district is District 5. Mike Quigley had a significant advantage monetarily. And because he keeps winning, this year when he runs, he's going to have much more money because PACs will be like, oh, he be winning. We're going to give him the money. He is only a 2-term, meaning this was only the second time he won. The more times you win, the more money you're going to get and the greater advantage that you're going to have. So money in congressional elections is typically given to winners. There are other advantages they have. One would be the franking privileges. No, they're not allowed to give individuals who support them hot dogs, frankfurters. The franking privilege means that individuals are able to send mail, because you're a member of Congress, for free. So you can send mail. It can't say elect Mike Quigley, but it can say, I am Mike Quigley. I am your representative. This is what I've done for you over the last 2 years. I'm a good guy. It doesn't say vote for me, but it says, hey, this is what I'm doing for you. And when you get that in the mail, you're like, oh, Mike Quigley. His last name is kind of funny, but he's a good guy. He's bringing stuff back to our district. They have staff members in place who can stuff those envelopes with mail. That's an advantage. Patronage, they may be able to give individuals in their district some jobs. Gerrymandering, I would suggest you go to this redistricting online PowerPoint. Gerrymandering is the drawing of district lines, which occurs every 10 years. You're going to need to know this more in the next unit, so don't get too worried about it. But you can draw the lines of your district, and you can redraw them after 10 years, so that you can draw them as the majority party in your state. In our state, it's the Democrats. They redraw the lines so that there are more Democrats in your district, and it makes it harder to beat you. Again, we'll get into greater detail later. For now, you just need to know that gerrymandering, or the changing of district lines, means that you can draw your districts so that you have a safe congressional seat. Again, that's done every 10 years after the census. We'll go over that in greater detail later. Committee service, think of Iowa. If I'm a member of Congress, I'm the Agricultural Committee. I'm passing bills that benefit my citizens. And they are more likely to elect me if I can show them that I'm passing bills that really affect them. Name recognition, oftentimes challenges are not well known. Casework means just that if a constituent calls up and says, you know what, Comcast is messing with my bill, if I'm a member of Congress, I have my staff call Comcast and say, can you help Mr. Dowdy, because you guys are messing with his bill. And if a member of Congress or a staff member from a member of Congress calls you, you're more likely as a company to say, okay, we'll fix that bill for Mr. Dowdy. Pork barrel spending means projects for the district. So if I'm Mike Quigley and I get money from Congress, money from the federal government to build a new wing on Elmhurst College, I can tell my constituents, hey, I had a $4 million engineering wing built on to Elmhurst College. They are more likely to support you if you can say, I'm bringing back money to the district. It's called pork barrel projects, meaning fat. Pigs are fat. All this money that's going back to the states for these pet projects are excess. Meaning we don't have to spend $4 million of federal dollars for the states, but we do. And it helps members of Congress be able to say, I'm bringing back money to our district. Again, House seats are a little more safe than Senate, but they're both very, very, very safe. If an incumbent chooses to retire and not run again, then the seats are usually more competitive. Rubio can't run again because he's running for president. Peace.